I tell you what, it's flipping gorgeous out here. You can't get much better than this weather. Chill in the morning, soon warms up, beautifully bright. On the Polytunnel, wow, temperatures have been soaring, I think. Let's have a quick look. So there we go. Minimum's gone down to minus 1.3 and the maximum is 34.7 degrees C, and it's 34 in here right now. And my sweet peas, which I planted or sowed only a few weeks back, are sprouting nicely. In fact, I think it's almost less than a week. Incredible. And the water which sits in here is still keeping this capillary mat damp, but there was a puddle here and it's gone. That just shows you how warm it is. And I'll keep this topped up with water so that everything remains nice and moist. My onions are looking just fine. Okay, so I think it's going to be a bit more sowing today, but I'm going to take that at a leisurely pace. And today, without any shadow of a doubt, I am going to dig the last 2 strips of the raspberry bed, and then I can get on to planning how to put a retaining wall in here. That's it, job done. That's my last digging of the raspberry bed. And well, I've got to just get some of the overspill up and over so that I can see this straight line. And then just for fun, I'm going to bring up a couple of those round poles that I'm going to use and just lay it down and see what it looks like. I'm not doing it today, but you know how it is. When you've worked towards something, you just want to have a quick glimpse of how things are going to work out. Whew. Right, let's have a go at that. Well, I'm going to have some levelling to do, but the plan will be to just overlap the membrane. I'll be able to take out all these pins that I've got in because it will be sealed down by the wood. But I'm thinking that's going to work. Let's just put another one on and see what happens. So here, I'm going to have to make some sort of allowance for the slope. So I figure I'm going to be cutting these and then building them a little bit higher at this level and eventually getting what will be hopefully a reasonable straight or level top. But it's going to work out well. Good times. Well, I definitely need to add water because this is drying out. And then just a little bit more sowing, I think. Well, with capillary matting, you really don't want to let it get completely dry because, well, not only does it take a little while to get damp again, if you've got seed trays on top, then that takes even longer. And in the heat of the summer, it might just be too long and your seed roots might dry out. So just keep an eye on capillary matting. Just don't take it for granted that it will always be damp because you can come a cropper. I speak from experience. Right, let's see what's next. So we're up to 37 degrees in here now. It's really beginning to toast. I'm going to get couple more trays of seeds sown. And as I said on my last video, it's something to savour and enjoy and not rush, because, well, you only get to do it for a short while, and it's one of those things that is a real pleasure to do. At least I find it so. Right, so just looking at my seeds for March, parsnips are going to have to wait because I do those in toilet rolls and I've not generated enough yet, so they might have to wait a week or two. And tagetes, I think I'm going to get those going. We've done the tomatoes, which is great, and they can go in there. Lobelia we've done, so we've got some cabbage, field-of-kraut, some tagetes and some celeriac, because the celeriac are particularly slow growing. So I'm going to get those underway. I'm going to do a few giant Prague, a few monarch and a few ibis, and we'll get probably one tray and I'll sow them thinly, and then I'll get to, well, prick them out and pop them on later on. Okay. Well, that's the any old Iron Man who's collecting up anything that's metal that anybody wants to get rid of. I've had a bit of a change of heart, thinking and looking at my seed trays. I think I'm going to use another Charles Dowding tray for the tagetes, and I think I'm going to use some of these deep-rooted, really fine container-wise trays for the celeriac. And what I'm going to do is do 2 rows of each and then a row of field-of-kraut, and that means that they'll be able to stay in these much longer, which I think is probably a good thing. So I'm going to fill these up, get those sown. Well, it's really surprising how quickly your sowing bench fills up, but that's coming on nicely, and I'm just leaving that in that pool of water just to make sure that it's nice and damp. Pull some of these weeds out. I've got to pot these up pretty darn quick now, so I think before I sow anything else, which won't be today, but I'll get those into individual cells. And then at the other end I've put all that celeriac and field-of-kraut again in that pool that's at the end, so that it soaks up plenty of moisture. And I think that's me done sowing for today. Good times. Well, I'm just going to tidy this path by moving all the rocks out of the way and getting some sort of idea of the line that I'm going to take. What I'm thinking is I'll just take the edge out nice and straight and move it forward, and then I think I'll move the path so that it's straight at last and that the polythene overlaps the edge, and that will just stop that surface weed growth into the bed, although I will be having a membrane over the top of this. So for now I'm just going to do a bit of preparatory work, get this out of the way, and see what sort of line I need to take with this path once I get cracking. All these rocks, they'll come in handy at some point for something, I'm sure. There's still some of the dreaded weeds in this edge, but I don't want to take this edge away because it will be the strength to the path, and if I soften it, then for sure the paving stones are just going to move over and slope. So it's staying where it is, weed or not. And this was a bit of old pond membrane which I might just take out. It's a bit too useful to be pushing down into the soil. There's a load of compost there which can just go straight in my bed. That's just old wood chip, I think. There we go. Right, I'll get my stick and see what straight looks like. Well, that gives you some sort of idea of how this path bends out. And I probably won't be able to go that far because the edge doesn't, but I could probably go that far. And that starts at the corner of that, and I can edge that over and then bring all the other pavers to that straight edge, and then hopefully it'll finish up really on this straight corner. So I think the corners of this path were always right. I just went off on a tangent because of all the raspberries and weed and clay that was in there. So that's going to be just a straighten up job. I think I'm going to do it now. It's a lovely day for it. It's surprising how quickly these jobs come along once you've done the digging, and it won't take me too long to get this sorted out. I'm not going to do it now, but it's come together quite well. Of course, it's quite flat because it's had the pavers on there, so it's just about getting a straight line and making sure it's even where there's a little bit of a dip here and there, and it'll come together nicely. And that polythene, which I dug out of the ground on this allotment a few years back, is going to go back and along that edge, and I might just cut some of it in half so that I've got enough to go all the way up the path, go down about a foot and then overlap underneath the paving stones, and that'll keep the weed at bay for a bit longer. But yeah, it's come together well. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. I have. And if you want to get my uploads, then every Wednesday and every Sunday at 8 PM if you click on that bell up there. And why not click on the like and subscribe as well. Good times.